Well, good evening, class. We are, as you can see, going to be talking about lesson 2-7 tonight. It is a problem-solving lesson, and it's actually one of my favorite problem-solving strategies. The strategy that we're going to be doing tonight is called try, test, and revise. Don't confuse that. A lot of times people refer to a method very similar to this as guess and check. And guess and check is kind of the blind way to just go about this through trial and error. What we are going to do is going to be very strategic, especially when we do this last revise step. Okay, so the first two parts might look like guess and check, but then rather than just randomly make another guess, we're going to very carefully look at what happened and revise our answer. So before we do that, though, let me give you an analogy. And my favorite analogy for this lesson is that of a professional marks person. Okay, so an archer or a rifle person, if they're handed a brand new bow or a rifle with a sight that they've never shot before, the question is, how many shots should it take them to hit the bullseye? And yes, of course, they might get lucky and take aim, and everything could be exactly the way they expect it, and they could hit the bullseye on the first try. So the question is, how many shots does it take a professional marksman? And let's assume that we're talking about a shot from a couple hundred yards away with a high-powered rifle, like a sniper type shot. Well, the answer is 3. And what the person will do, the marks person will do, is they will take aim to the best of their ability, and they'll aim right at the center of the target. And let's say that they miss down here a little bit to the left. Okay, can't quite see that, so I'll put an X down there. So let's say they hit right here where the white X is. And again, that's still a little hard to see. So let's pick a different color. Let's pick yellow. All right, so let's say they hit right here where the yellow dot is. All right. Well, obviously their scope was shooting a little bit down and to the left. So what they'll do is they'll correct by shooting a little bit higher and a little bit further to the right. Now let's say when they make their second shot, it comes out right here. Well, clearly they adjusted in the right direction, but they adjusted just a little too much. So paying attention to how much they adjusted, they'll come back about 25–30%, and the third shot should be right smack dab on the bullseye. Okay, and so that's kind of what we're going to do with mathematics. We're going to take our best guess right off the bat. We're going to check and see if it works, and if it doesn't, we're going to pick a very smart second guess that hopefully will be very close, if not right on the original. Now, depending on the problem, oftentimes the second guess will actually be able to hit it perfectly. All right, so this is the analogy. Let's get into an actual math problem and see how this works. Okay. So let's take an example where maybe the Lexington School starts a theater club, and they're going to do a show, and let's say that they sold 133 tickets for $471 exactly. And let's say that they sold adult tickets for $4 and student tickets for $3. Our job is going to be to try to figure out exactly how many of each ticket they sold. Okay. Now, we could randomly guess and check, and obviously with 133 tickets sold and a lot of math that has to happen, we could spend an awful long time doing that. But why don't we take a guess that we think will be probably pretty easy? And so what I'm going to do, take this 133 tickets and let's break it up. And let's break it into kind of a nice, neat number. And I'm going to say, let's just take 100 tickets, because that's a nice, even number. And we'll make those the adult tickets, and we'll do 33 of the student tickets. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little, make a little bit of a chart. So adult is going to be 100 tickets, and the student tickets would therefore be 33. Okay? And if we do the math now quickly, I'll change colors quickly here. Let's see. 100 adult tickets at $4 a piece would be $400, and 33 student tickets at $3 a piece would be an additional $99. And so we end up with $499. And that's a little bit more than the $471 that we were supposed to have. So clearly, what I need to do is have a few more student tickets and a few less adult tickets. So I could randomly guess in that direction, kind of like the marksman had to do, shoot up and to the right a little bit, and see if I get closer. Or I could look very closely at not just the fact that I missed, but let's look at exactly how much I missed by. So I was off by, let's take my guess of $4.99. I was supposed to get $4.71, so I'm off by exactly $28. Now let's stop and think about this for a second. All right, what happens if I change one of the tickets from an adult ticket into a student ticket? Well, I get one less dollar for it. Well, if I am $28 over right now, how about I just convert 28 of these 100 tickets? So my second guess will be 100 minus 28, which will immediately be 72 adult tickets. And then add those 28 tickets, since they're not adult tickets anymore, we still have to have the tickets. Let's add them to the student tickets. And I'm going to do a little math here. So 33 plus 33 plus 28 adds up to a total of 62 student tickets. And let's double. It'd be good if I did my math right. Okay, one more try. I was gonna see, this is why we check our math. I'm sorry, it should be 61. And so 61 student tickets. So let's go ahead and make sure that this adds up. And sure enough, we see that it does come out to be 133 tickets. Now let's check the math. So the $72 tickets, 72 tickets at $4 is going to be a total of, let's see, that's going to be 8 and 28, so it's $288. And the 61 tickets at $3 will be 183. And now, when I add them together, 8 and 3, I couldn't add it before. Let's see if I do better this time. 8 and 3 is 11, carry the 1. 8 and 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17, carry a 1. And I get exactly $471. So by thinking carefully about not just the fact that I missed, but coming over here and looking and saying, look, I'm exactly $28 over. So if I just tweak the tickets so that 28 of those adult tickets turn into student tickets, which is what I did to go from here to here, and do the same thing, go up 28 for the students, I get my solution. So there's the answer right there, 72 adult tickets and 61 student tickets, and it only took me 2 guesses. Now just for a second, think about how many guesses that you could do with these numbers before you would stumble into 72 and 61. You might have done a dozen of these, and every time you'd have to figure out how many adult tickets, how many student tickets, you'd have to multiply by 4 and 3, you'd add them up, you'd see how much you're off by, and you'd hope you'd finally get the 471 magic number that you're looking for. Okay, so this is why try, test, and revise is much more powerful than just guessing and checking. Okay, so the 3 steps that we just talked about are try, test, and revise, but I think you could see that the main one that we're really going to put the emphasis on is revising. And by revising, we are going to look carefully at not just the fact that we missed, but look at how we missed. And use that information to make a very educated second guess. And if we do it right, more times than not, on the second try, we ought to be able to get the solution. Okay? Well, that's pretty much it for this video. We will be practicing tomorrow. Now, one of the nice things about the classwork tomorrow is because it is a problem-solving lesson, it'll give you choices of which problems you pick. So there'll be a couple problems that will specifically focus on this try, test, revise strategy, and then we'll have some other ones that will reuse some of the various strategies we've learned over this year and last. So remember, when we're doing problem-solving problems, make sure that you read the questions carefully and you read them always at least 3 times, twice before you start the problem and once at the end. All right, well, we'll see you in class tomorrow, and we'll practice some of these in real life. Good night.